How to have fun, anytime, anywhere. Step 1. Go to ChumbaCasino.com.
ChumbaCasino.com. Got it.
Step 2. Collect your welcome bonus.
Come to Papa welcome bonus.
Step 3. Play hundreds of casino-style games for free.
That's a lot of games. All for free?
Step 4. Unleash your excitement.
Woohoo!
Chumba Casino has been delivering thrills for over a decade. So claim your free welcome bonus now and live the Chumba life. Visit ChumbaCasino.com.
VGW Group. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
And hello, everyone. It's your girl, Gabrielle from A Step Ahead Tutoring Services. Welcome to a brand new episode of Hot Topics. So if you are not familiar with this web series, let me tell you what we're about. This is a web series where we like to get down and dirty, right? We like to talk about those things that we don't really like to say out loud, that it's in the back of our minds. Well, we're bringing it to the front of our minds today. So we are a tutoring company, so we like to stay within a bubble, so to speak. But within the bubble, we like to talk that real talk, right? So we tend to focus on certain topics, right? We tend to focus on things in education, physical health, mental health, employment, finance, psychology, family, friends. Like we like to stay within a scope, so to speak, but we still like to talk that hot stuff. We like to talk that real talk, and we like to just put it all out in the open. So with that said, let's get into our topic for today, and I am excited about this topic. So the topic for today is surviving breast cancer. Now, I am totally looking forward to this topic, and I am totally looking forward to talking to my guest about it. Cancer is, especially breast cancer, it's one of those things that we don't really talk about as much, or I think Breast Cancer Month is in October. We like to wait until October to tell our stories, right? Well, we're breaking that rule, and we're going to have that discussion today. So with that said, I have a guest with me who's going to help me with this topic. Her name is Dr. Neosho Ponder, and I'm totally looking forward to talk to her. So let's get right into it. Who is Dr. Neosho Ponder? Let me tell you who she is. So in 2015, Dr. Ponder graduated with her Ph.D. from Howard University. Just as she was finished celebrating and ready to start a new career, her life took a sharp left turn, a breast cancer diagnosis. Neosho had to put her future on hold while fighting for her life. Recounting the hardships of unexpected homelessness, treatment, and surgical complications, losing loved ones, and the day-to-day journey through cancer, Dr. Ponder explores the intersection of her faith in God, resilience, and her humor in her first book, God's Got Jokes. We will discuss that book later on today. Affectionately known as Dr. P by her students, Neosho is navigating this unexpected chapter of her life with fresh optimism and untapped vulnerability. She is looking forward to what God has in her future. That is dope, and that makes me even more excited to talk to her today. So I'm going to bring her to the stage right now. Hi, how are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. You
Thank you for that intro.
I try. Yeah. So, as we were talking, you have this amazing story about overcoming your fight against breast cancer, and you even put it in a book, which we will definitely include in our promo. And I wanted to have you share your story with our audience because it's such an amazing story. And if you wouldn't mind, I'm going to hand you the baton and I'm going to just have you tell your story.
Good evening. I am Dr. Neosho Ponder, and oh my gosh, I was looking for a job after finishing my doctorate at Howard University. And I was teaching part-time, and my one day that I didn't have students to meet with or classes to teach, I discovered a lump in my breast, in my left breast. And it was a very casual thing where I was laying in the bed and I was adjusting my tank top, and my right hand brushed across my left breast as I was adjusting the tank top. And lo and behold, at about 8 o'clock, I felt something that did not feel like it was supposed to be there. I held on to this information for about 2 weeks before disclosing to loved ones, which came with my official diagnosis, of course. And I named my tumor Clarence because he got on my nerves. And I feel like that's a name to someone who gets on your nerves. And Clarence is officially Black History. So I am celebrating 6 years of survivorship this year. And it's been a journey. Unexpected deaths in my family while going through treatment, while dealing with losing my breast. And I've since had 7 reconstructive surgeries, which I go into a lot of detail in the book about, because I don't want anyone to think that just because you have setbacks, that God is not going to kind of add some humor to it and then also set you up for a comeback. So after every complication, something else happened. I had to move again. And then God shows up. So I am here. I am healthy. No complaints. I'm looking forward to getting tattoos over my scars. Hopefully starting this year, because it's a lot of scars. And this journey has, it's a testimony. It's about 32 testimonies, as I say. But I'm so blessed to be here.
Awesome. So take us through your journey, right? Mm-hmm. So you discover the lump on your breast. 2 weeks later, well, before we get to that, you discover the lump on your breast. Can you tell us why you waited 2 weeks to see a doctor officially?
Oh, no, I didn't wait. I mean, for those who may not go to the doctor often, you have to make an appointment. So April 8th, I discovered Clarence at 5:37 p.m., Friday, April 8th, 2016. And on Monday, April 11th, I called and made an appointment with my primary care physician. And I was a very healthy young woman. So I didn't go to the doctor except for my annual exam and then my woman exam, right? So usually that always happened together. So I was not familiar with this new primary care doctor because it wasn't time for my woman exam, but my previous doctor had left the summer after I graduated. So I made an appointment for April 18th. So that's a week after. And so I discovered Clarence on the 8th. So 10 days after I discovered him, I saw my primary care physician. She did an exam and she felt Clarence, but was not alarmed. I'm over here freaking out inside. Like, okay, you're a little too calm, lady. But she wasn't alarmed because I had no family history of breast cancer. And that's something that a lot of people, I don't think we give enough, put enough emphasis on our checks and, and importance on things that may be abnormal, because family history is not the only indicator that something is wrong. And that's kind of how I felt. I felt like she was making it seem like because I had no family history of breast cancer, that I didn't need to be alarmed. But I'm like, there's a very, so the tumor was very pronounced. Okay. And anyone who knows me, who came in contact with me during that time of my treatment, right before my mastectomy, they felt clearance if they wanted to. Very pronounced. You couldn't miss it. Okay. So for her to say, oh, it could be a calcification, you may, it could be a cyst. I mean, she's giving me all these other things, medical stuff. And I'm like, I'm not an idiot here. Like, I know my body. And plus God told me. So yeah, God definitely spoke to me as soon as I discovered the lump. And I knew, and I was okay I was just ready to fight. And the fact that she was not, there was not a sense of urgency for her to schedule me a mammogram, for her to schedule me an ultrasound. That is what bothered me. But she eventually did. So what I had to make the appointment myself, because it's a specialist, made the appointment 3 days later. Unfortunately, it was the day when doves cried. So Thursday, April 21st, 2016, I had a 12:30 appointment with the radiologist for my mammogram and ultrasound. So right before that, the news broke that His Purple Majesty had passed. So I'm trying to be, calm about my situation and not be sad over Prince dying. And then as soon as the radiologist saw my mammogram film, she almost knocked the tech out of the way. Okay, Gabrielle, like she was like, excuse me, hello, Dr. Ponder, I am Dr. Da, da, da. And she just like wasn't playing, okay? And because she knew what she saw. And that's what she told me. She said, I've been doing this for over 35 years. I know what I see. And then she said, you need to tell your family. It was very dramatic, and I was trying to keep it cool, but I hadn't told anybody in my family. So that's what was, I think, the saddest part, is that now I have to disclose my condition, and I've never had health issues in my entire life. So to have to disclose this to my family, I know they're not going to take it well. I'm the only person in my family on my mom's side who doesn't live in Kansas City, Missouri. So I'm far away. And I don't have a family that, has a lot of means, but they have a lot of love and prayer. And I knew that they would love up on me and pray for me, but I knew that they would have an issue with the fact that they couldn't get here like they wanted to. But, God makes a way. So everything turned out okay. But the 2 weeks time, things happened during that time for sure. And I touched Clarence every day, and I would talk to him in the shower, and I would say, I'm getting you. I'm coming for you. So you be ready. I'm coming for you. Or I would say, why are you still here, Clarence? Or yeah, I even told Clarence to go home a couple times. Go home. Like it was one of those, like, you're almost delirious because you can't believe how much your life is about to change. But your life is about to change.
And your life definitely changed.
Mm-hmm.
So you had a lot going on from what I'm gathering. So Prince died, and you were moving, and
oh no, I wasn't moving yet.
Oh, you didn't move yet?
I lived in the same basement apartment for 9 years through 2 graduate degrees. Okay. And out of the blue, literally out of the blue, never had a conversation about me moving. I had become very close to my landlord, who had later become my friend. This person was at my biopsy with me, held my hand, held my feet, took me to lunch after my biopsy. Like, that's how close we were. And ironically, because I'm a big dates person, okay, the anniversary of Michael Jackson's death, we're watching the BET Awards together, and the bomb drops. Let's talk about your exit plan. And when people read the book, like I remember that conversation because I had nightmares about it for years. And I was shocked. And I don't know where it came from. I still don't, but I've made peace with not knowing. So this is June 25th. So quick timeline. I discovered Clarence in April. I'm diagnosed in April. May, June passes. June's almost over. I have to make the decision. I have to build a team. Okay. Go to all these different doctor's appointments. My mama came out here for 2 weeks because it was a lot. And I am finally, I think I'm going to go forward with fertility treatment. And that's what I was sharing with my friend. And that I'm going to have a mastectomy a week later, which will be July 5th. And I'm disclosing all of this and just sharing how, I got to go see my family in Kansas City, all these things, right? And then out of nowhere,
it is Ryan Seacrest here. There was a recent social media trend which consisted of flying on a plane with no music, no movies, no entertainment. But a better trend would be going to ChumbaCasino.com. It's like having a mini social casino in your pocket. Chumba Casino has over 100 online casino-style games, all absolutely free. It's the most fun you can have online and on a plane. So grab your free welcome bonus now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply.
Let's talk about your exit plan. I was like, exit from where? Like I had no idea where it came from. And so I asked if I could stay until January 2017. By that time, I would have been done with chemo because I thought chemo would be much harder than radiation. And they said, yeah. Fast forward, this is June now. I had my mastectomy July 5th. 5 weeks after my mastectomy, my biological father passes away suddenly, totally unexpected. That was the day that I found out that my fertility treatment didn't take like I thought, like anyone thought. So I ended up freezing 2 eggs. And this was before chemo. And then my first day of chemo was would have been my maternal grandmother's birthday, August 23rd, 2016. After chemo, mind you, I'm still looking for a place to move to, right? All this time, okay? Because I know I have to be out in January. I've made peace with it. Our relationship was different, but I was okay. First day of chemo, I'm not feeling 100%, but because I'm tired, but I'm going to get something to eat after chemo, get a phone call. The gist of the phone call was, you got to be out by October 1st. So this is August 23rd. I have 5 weeks to pack up 9 years of my life after having a double mastectomy. I had nowhere to go. So that's when I had to move.
Mm.
Yeah.
So all of that happened while you were receiving chemo.
Yes.
So tell me what that was like, because all this is happening at once.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So tell me what's going on. Tell us what's going on as all these things are just crashing down.
Sorry, I had to quote Martin from You So Crazy. So I was scared. I realized that I had kind of retreated during chemo. The friend that I had that lived upstairs from me was no longer really in my life. And I realized that it was me and God at that point. Me, God, and all the things that comes with chemo, okay? All her little friends, as I call them. And I drove myself to chemo most days. There were a few days when, I would get a ride, which I'm going to always be grateful to those who helped. And I left my key in a rock outside my door while I slept. Now, for those who may have never known anyone to go through cancer treatment, chemo is poison. And the poison is pumped into you, right? For me, it was in a port that was right here. I still have the dent, and it's going to always be there, I was told. So I have a dent right here where my chemo port was. Some people get it in their arm through a PICC line, or an IV even. But mine, I had to do a port. And they pump this poison into you to kill cancer. Well, what else does it kill, right? It kills hair. And when I say hair, everywhere. You're going to ask that question in a minute, Gabby. I already know. Hair. It kills your immune system. So you're more susceptible to things. And it kills your energy. Definitely kills your sex drive. It kills your menstrual cycle, which was okay until they tell you that we don't know if it's coming back, so that made me a little nervous because I was 36. And it kind of kills your spirit a little bit. So I grew up, in a family with strong faith, with a strong prayer life. And I think that really helped me stay sane, especially when I had expected to have my landlord/friend there with me along the way. I was told this person would support me. And then for them to be gone out of nowhere, it was hard. Thank God. I got to take a sip. Thank God for my village. The more I tell this story, the easier it is to say, because I usually break down at this point. So I'm very active in my church, Reed Temple AME Church in Glendale, Maryland. The Reverend Dr. Mark E. Whitlock Jr. is the senior pastor. And our beautiful First Lady and Executive Minister, Reverend Hermia Shagag Whitlock. So I leaned on my church. I leaned on my sorority. I'm a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. I'm in my 22nd year of membership in Delta. And I, at the time when I was diagnosed, I was active in financial, and I still am, don't get me wrong, but I had ebbs and flows of even being active in Delta because, life and sickness, right? But my sorors showed up for me. My sisters and brothers in Christ showed up for me. My friends showed up for me. And I will be forever grateful. So they packed up my house while I slept. And I had a little, it's called an efficiency, really. It's not for me, it's not a studio. I think it's smaller than a studio because it was a basement. It was the basement of a house. And so I had a full kitchen, bathroom, washer and dryer, all the things, but I also had a bed, I had bookshelves, I had, all this stuff. And because I did my master's and Ph.D. living there, it was a lot of stuff, papers, books, clothes. I have a lot of clothes. My boyfriend always talks about me by having all these clothes. And so I couldn't lift anything. And something that I didn't know, and I want to share with all of the viewers, when you have a double mastectomy, they take everything, okay? My chest was sunken in because they take everything. They want to make sure there's no other cancer cells in there, right? No pieces of the tumor that'll grow later. So I had no muscle mass to lift anything. I couldn't even carry a purse, okay? That's just how I had to have a purse strapped across me because I couldn't lift anything with my arms like that. So thank God for my village who came and packed up 9 years of my life, my 20s and half of my 30s, half of my 20s, half of my 30s. So yeah, it was a blessing.
Awesome. So now your sorority sister showed up for you, your church showed up for you, your friend showed up for you. Where was your family?
In Kansas City, praying.
No one made the trip out?
Yeah, my parents, they came when I had my mastectomy. Like I said, my mom was here for 2 weeks before I had my mastectomy to go to doctor's appointments. And then my dad, who raised me, they both were here when I had my mastectomy and the week after. And then I had to send them home. Yeah. I don't come from, I literally have the Cosby Show on in front of me. Okay. I don't come from a Cosby family. I come from the Ponders. So they loved up on me. They prayed with me and for me. And I was good. See, the thing is that when you don't live in the same city as your family, and when you are the one or maybe two who, are very independent and did not live in that city for a long time, you realize that when they visit you, for whatever reason, that's more work. And I knew that I needed to put my energy into me healing. So instead of me figuring out how people were going to get here, figuring out where people were going to stay, because again, I had a 1-room apartment. After my mastectomy, while my dad was here and my mom, they slept in my bed in my apartment below, and I slept on my landlord's couch, okay, while they were here. And that was like almost 10 days. So, and actually a couple of days right after the mastectomy, my dad slept on my futon, and he's not a small guy. And me and my mom slept in my bed because it was really hard to get comfortable after a mastectomy. Your chest is wrapped. It's not only painful, but it's tight. Oh, goodness. It's tight. Okay. It's just literally like having your chest wrapped as tight as they could get it. It's really tight. So you can't move. You need help to do everything. My dad had to help me change my underwear one day, but I also knew that I could not.
It is Ryan Seacrest here. There was a recent social media trend which consisted of flying on a plane with no music, no movies, no entertainment. But a better trend would be going to ChumbaCasino.com. It's like having a mini social casino in your pocket. Chumba Casino has over 100 online casino-style games, all absolutely free. It's the most fun you can have online and on a plane. So grab your free welcome bonus now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply.
Mentally have them here all that time. I couldn't. It was just way too much weighing on me, making sure they were okay. And them, hovering as well. So I like being able to call my friends over when I needed them. But they made sure that I was self-sufficient before they left, for sure. And then they came back for Thanksgiving. So they brought all 4 of my nephews out, and they came back for Thanksgiving. I rented an Airbnb and whatnot. Yeah. So, but I was good. That's the beauty of having a village.
Absolutely. They came, they stayed for as long as they could, and then they left. And you're focused on your health, and all this stuff was happening to you. You couldn't really focus on them.
It was hard. I'm not gonna lie. I love my parents, but Pam is a lot. I mean, and I knew that I needed her to be there and me to be here in order for her to support me the way I needed her to support me, So yeah. And she's my mama, so she's just going to be a lot anyway. And I hadn't lived with her for like 20 years, almost 20 years at that time. So I was like, yeah, this is way too much for me. But I'm so grateful that I had parents that could come out. And, at the time I had 3 parents. So my biological father, I affectionately call the little old man, he was calling all the time, checking in as well. So it was like I had people calling. I had my aunties praying with me, praying for me, and things. So I was okay. Like I said, my family doesn't have the means, financially to just pick up and go like other families probably can. And that's okay because they did what I needed at that time. And I appreciate that.
Whatever that they were able to give, you were able to take, and it helped you during your tough time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, especially having an auntie who, actually both of my aunties, who were my second and third mama, they were retired. So talking to me all day, checking in with me all day. Yeah. Blessing, and in the entire year of 2017, from February to December, I had a severe radiation burn. So having those, issues and needing somebody to talk to throughout the day, I was so blessed to have that. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So now the treatment. So how long did all of this last? The treatments and The whole thing. How long did it go on for?
3 years, give or take. And then I still had 2 surgeries lingering. So I took a year off from surgery because when I had my mastectomy, and then I couldn't do reconstruction when I was supposed to, when I thought I was supposed to, let's say that. And I was burned severely by the radiation. And nobody, I don't want to freak people out, okay? I was burned. I'm not saying people get burned. I'm saying I was burned. I only can speak for my situation. But the burn that I had was so severe that it delayed, it almost eliminated the whole idea of me having reconstructive surgery. So my burn started on February 13th, 2017. And I took a picture every day almost. Excuse the sirens if you can hear them. I live near a really busy intersection. But I took a picture almost every day. Thank God for date stamps in your phone, you know, when the picture actually was taken. That helped me chronicle the burn. And I thought it was healing. And the longer I thought it, the less it healed. And then in June of 2017, I woke up with a cold sweat and shiver and chills. And I called my sorority sister, and she said, go to the emergency room right now. I'm going to meet you there. And I went to the emergency room, and I was immediately admitted.
Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply.
With sepsis. No. It was cellulitis, excuse me. It was about to become sepsis had I not gone. So I had cellulitis in my chest wall underneath the burn. And basically it was a severe infection. And I was in the hospital for 4 days. So that then delayed the possibility of reconstruction again. Finally, the surgeon that I thought would do my reconstructive surgery, she said she probably wouldn't be able to perform that surgery. And that was her specialty because my burn was so bad and it's not healing. And she felt like the burn had fried my blood vessels. So naturally, I sought someone else. And I learned that the burn needed to undergo hyperbaric oxygen treatment. So I begun, finally, after begging for a wound care specialist, because I was denied a wound care specialist for months. Okay. Ironically, my old landlord was a wound care specialist. So this is what I mean by guys got jokes, you know. But so I finally got to see a wound care specialist, and that specialist said this was probably the most severe radiation burn I've seen. She said, I'm going to recommend hyperbaric oxygen treatment, which basically they put you in this tube, right? And if you read the book, you'll have access to exclusive pictures and everything from this time period. But and I go into way more detail then. But they put you in this tube, and they want what they try to do is in the tube, they're putting oxygen into your blood, right? And more oxygen in your blood speeds up healing. Okay. And that's what they expected. I did that for a couple of months, and the burn really wasn't healing still. So finally, the surgeon that I had found, she said, keep going, but don't worry about the burn healing, but just keep going. Okay. But by this point, the burn started to heal deep down inside on the inside of me. And the healing, if anyone has had any type of scar that healed, it itched. The itch, y'all, I could talk about the itch without crying, but for a long time, I had to cry every time I talked about the itch because it was like I was in hell. It was like, God, what did I do to deserve this? It was worse than even having cancer. And I don't wish that on anybody. I will never, ever say that itching is better than pain because there was no medication they could give me to help me with that itch. Nothing helped with the itch. It was the worst. I was on a lot of pain medication, but I never got dependent on it. Thank God. Thank God. Because I was in a lot of pain in addition to the itching. But the itching would get so bad that I would have to go. I had worked 4 months, a contract job for FEMA at the time. And I would go into the handicap stall of a bathroom on a different floor and beat my chest like I didn't know myself, like I was somebody off the street. I would beat my chest so hard to get the itching to stop. So when the pain kicked in, I could take an oxy. That doesn't even sound rational when I say it today, but that is exactly what I had to do just to function. It was just crazy. Yeah. So it was hard. But that surgeon, she was not playing. Okay. This was her second time around in a career. She was a naval surgeon for like 30 years before she started doing microsurgery, which is what I required. She said, we're going to do this surgery where it's called the deep flap surgery. We're going to take your stomach. Thank God I've always been a curvy girl. And we're going to create your breast out of your stomach. And she said, don't worry about that burn. Keep going to hyperbaric oxygen. And I did. And February 2018, baby, I celebrated my anniversary of my surgery just a couple weeks ago. And I am so blessed. But God is still funny. Okay. Because I woke up with one boob. Well, I woke up with two the first time, but one of them didn't want to hang out. So she left. So then I had to have another surgery using still my body. And it's called the latissimus flap surgery. So yeah, it's a lot. I had 5 surgeries in 2018 alone.
That's a lot. That definitely sounds like a lot.
And that's just 2017, girl. 2018, rather. That's half of 2018. That ain't even the rest of it. But yeah.
So the reconstructive surgery, was that your decision or doctor's decision?
Everything was my decision. And that's something that I want people to know. You decide. You listen to the information. You receive the information from the experts, your doctors, but they cannot decide for you what you want to do unless it's not possible, right? If it's not possible, that's different. But if it's possible, no one can tell you that you cannot do it. Everything was my decision.
So on that point, I know some people would have decided not to do the reconstructive surgery after getting a mastectomy. So could you talk more about why you decided to go for the surgery?
Yeah. So I was 36. So it's rare you'll find a young woman say, I don't want reconstruction. Usually people who don't want reconstruction, and I don't have the statistics in front of me, but you can Google it. They're older or they're married with children, right? I was never married, never had children. Heck, I wasn't even dating for real, So when you lose your breast, it makes you feel like less of a woman. And having those pieces of you that you grew yourself, they're yours, okay? Having them removed, it's like a piece of you gone. So the reconstruction was never a thought whether or not I would have reconstruction. My thought was, how, right? Because I did not want implants. Why, you ask? Because I didn't want foreign objects in my body. That's why. I did not want foreign objects in my body. To this day, I'm so grateful that I was able to, go about my reconstruction, because I read almost every day of women who cannot get the flap surgeries that I had because they don't have enough body mass or body fat or tissue to transfer. So that's a blessing for me. Now, Clarence was only in one boob. Okay. So they probably, now I had one lymph node that was positive. So they may have said, yeah, we should take them both. But I went in with, I want my boobs to look alike. Okay. My book ain't called God's Got Jokes for nothing. I want my boobs to look alike. So I want to have a double and get them both done. Right. That's my thinking. Then I said, I don't want to feed my babies breast cancer milk, possible cancer milk from the other boob, because Clarence was in my milk duct. So I had stage 2B invasive ductal carcinoma, HER2 positive, ER/PR negative, meaning my cancer was not fueled by hormones. So I don't have to be on medication for the next 5 to 10 years. And I didn't have metastasis to other parts of my body. And HER2, meaning that my cancer had a little shell around it, and the little shell couldn't be penetrated by just chemo. So I had to have a special medication called Herceptin. And I had to take that for a year in my port, same place as the chemo. But once the chemo ended, I had 6 rounds of chemo. Herceptin continued until that next August. So the decision really was a no-brainer, because again, I'm unmarried, no children. I want to feel and look like a woman. But when I saw that my burn could have prevented one type of surgery, I did my research and I found a doctor that would do the other. Again, you have to be your own advocate. You don't take no for an answer. My burn was that severe to where I don't know if the doctor that did it didn't do it. I don't know if I would have found another doctor. I don't know. But the doctor that I had originally chose, who I had built a relationship with, over, I think it was like 7-8 months, she just was like, I'm sorry, but I don't think I'm able to do your surgery. And that was crushing, because she was a young Black woman, just a couple years older than me, not a couple, maybe like 3 or 4 years older than me. So I really wanted her to do my surgery. And she was like, yeah, I don't think I'm able to do it. And she didn't want to get in there and not be able to do anything and then make it impossible for anything else to happen. So I appreciate her and I respect her decision, but I wasn't going to take no for an answer.
You knew what you wanted and you were going to go for it.
Oh, yeah. Yep, pretty much.
All right. So where are you right now, right this second? Where are you right now in your treatment? What's the progress? What's the prognosis?
There is no treatment. I don't know how else to answer that. All right. So I had chemo from August 23rd, 2016 till every 3 weeks until December 13th, 2016. I had radiation from, I believe, January 13th, 2017. And then they had to stop it because it was causing so much damage. Around February 21st, 2017. And then I took Herceptin until August 2017. I was considered no evidence of cancer, no evidence of disease, after that, pretty much. So, but my cancerversary is the day when doves cried. So I started counting the day I was told. And I'm celebrating 6 years this year.
6 years. Congratulations.
Thanks. Thank you. Yeah. So this was years ago, which is what allowed me to be able to tell my story. because, I've had, a couple of other reconstructive surgeries to like balance out my breasts, to fill them up, and things like that. So in 2020, I had a surgery, and unfortunately it was during the pandemic. So it was like later in the year, October 2020, I had one surgery, and then I had another surgery on May 2021. But neither one of them were major, right? So before then, I hadn't had a surgery since 2018. So these are all things just to kind of like get my breasts to be symmetrical and, and to be full, to look like breasts, especially the one where my burn was. So that one, it never looked like a breast until last year. It just looked like they just plopped my stomach up there because they cared about the burn more than the breast. The breast could come later. And I was introduced to a really amazing breast surgeon. She's a microsurgeon as well, but her specialty is to form breast. So she formed the heck out of these boobs. And I'm so grateful because my right boob, which is from my back. So latissimus is like they swung the muscle around and created this boob, right? So my right boob was so much larger and heavier than my left boob, to where it would pull my shirts to one side. So you see how the words on my shirt go straight across down? Before, it would be like this. And I'm not exaggerating. And I would constantly have to do this. And no one would notice because I got so used to doing it. But it was very, it was uncomfortable. And it kind of took its toll on my self-esteem as well, So I'm glad that I was able to get all that corrected. I'm really thankful.
And whatever happened to the burn?
It's officially Black History.
Awesome. Let me give you a little round of applause. Where's my little sound effect? Here we go. Yes, because you definitely deserve that. All right. So as of today, right this second, you are cancer-free, right?
No one is actually cancer-free. I kind of hate that term, actually. We all have cancer cells that are dormant in our bodies.
It is Ryan Seacrest here. There was a recent social media trend which consisted of flying on a plane with no music, no movies, no entertainment. But a better trend would be going to ChumbaCasino.com. It's like having a mini social casino in your pocket. Chumba Casino has over 100 online casino-style games, all absolutely free. It's the most fun you can have online and on a plane. So grab your free welcome bonus now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
It's when they become active is when you have a problem. So there's no evidence of disease. So I am NED, N-E-D. No evidence of disease.
So you constantly have to, so it's in remission, right?
Yep. Full remission. And I have, of course, the longer I go, the less chance it has for recurrence. So because I was ER/PR negative, which is hormone negative, and HER2 positive, and I was stage 2B, that was probably the best, for lack of a better word, the best diagnosis for breast cancer, because that meant that there was a targeted treatment plan. And my oncologist is so dope. Targeted treatment plan. He told me, he said, you need 3 things to fight cancer. You need medication, right? You need support, of course, but you also need faith. You need God. And that's what he told me. He's an Indian man. He's a Sikh. He wears a turban and everything. I love him. And he told me that as long as I have those 3 things, I'm okay. And I kept that in mind, and all the things that my family has taught me. So that's why I don't believe in cancer-free. I believe in no evidence of disease.
So it can come back at any moment. So you have to keep an eye on it.
No, I mean, you're probably more likely to get cancer at this point than me, to be honest with you. Nope. It's like 0.005% chance or something like that, which means if you do the percentages, I'm not a numbers person, you're probably more likely to develop cancer than I am.
Right, because you've already had it and you went through all the treatments?
Well, no, because I know what it looks like. My body is aware and familiar, and most people's aren't.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Recurrence, the highest rates of recurrence happen 3 to 5 years. Well, within the first 3 years, right? And then that reduces greatly between 3 and 5 years, right? But if you hit 5 years, it's less than 5%.
Oh, so it all has to do with time.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, cancer, it's in itself has to do with time. Like the sooner you discover it, the lower your staging, right? The less treatment possibly. But the longer you wait to be diagnosed, the higher your staging, the more treatment, or some people, wait so long that they don't get treatment, unfortunately.
Yeah. All right. Well, I hate to cut you short, but time is going. So do you have any words of wisdom that you'd like to share? Any final word that you would like to impart on our audience?
Touch your boobs. They're yours. You grew them yourself. And become familiar with your boobs, because I think a lot of people touch them and they think, oh, I'm gonna do a mammogram, put my arm up, do a mammogram, do it in the shower. No, actually, like touch them, like feel every lump, because most of the time our breasts have natural lumps, right? Some people's more than others. Some people have really dense breasts, but touch them, and be familiar with those little things, because that way, if you feel something's not supposed to be there, you'll immediately get it checked out. Also, if you have any type of faith, if you believe in any higher power, don't let a cancer diagnosis shake your faith to where you give up. Keep the faith. He listens. Now, he laughs because you be trying to do your own thing like me, but he still listens, and he'll continue to guide you. And laugh. Oh my gosh. I would laugh at my bald head because I have a little hook in the back. I got a head like my mama's, and it's a little hook, a little hook in the back. So I have it. My nephew Jaden has it, which is really funny. And just try your best to find the bright moments.
Awesome. Great advice. Great advice. All right, let me put up your little banner here. So you guys, you can follow Dr. Ponder on social media. She is on Instagram and Twitter. So if you have any questions, if you want to pick her brain, if you want to hear more about her story, definitely follow her on social media. And her email address is also scrolling below. So she prefers email. So if you would like to reach out to her via email at jokesbygod@gmail.com. So
actually, no, I don't want to make it. I prefer email for definitely business stuff. But if you want to interact with me or anything, feel free to follow me on Instagram or Twitter. I love both of those platforms a lot. I have a team of young people that's trying to get me on TikTok. I'm not excited about it. I may be on TikTok soon. So yeah, just I'm here. And I know a lot about a lot for no reason at all, to be honest with you. So if you have a question about anything, just let me know.
All right. You heard it yourself, guys. So reach out to her on social media, email. She's trying to get TikTok or trying to get away from it. But wherever you can find her, definitely hit her up and pick her brain and reach out to her. So she is there. She's there to help you.
Yeah.
And I want to make sure we get this before time runs out. You have a book, Dr. Ponder.
Yes. Y'all, I wrote a whole ass book. Whole ass book. It's called God's Got Jokes because he is funny. So I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it? Okay.
I see it.
So God's Got Jokes by Neosho C. Ponder. Ph.D. And it's how I use my faith and God's humor to survive breast cancer. And for everyone who pre-ordered a book, and if you attend an actual in-person book signing, you'll get a cute little bookmark. Got little quotes on there for you and everything.
Ooh, okay.
On the back, it has my contact information, one of my favorite pictures. And then that QR code takes you to my website, and it gives you the overview of my book if you don't have the book. Now, if you buy the book, you'll see in different, the end of every chapter of my book, there is a QR code. Okay. And I'm told that Jay-Z did this too, but I didn't know. One of the young ladies that I'm in a Facebook group with suggested this. The QR code scans to a web page, and each chapter has a separate web page, and you can see exclusive pictures and hear music from my journey. So that's a whole thing, right? But I'm excited to share my story, and I look forward to engaging with all of you around your journeys or the journey of your loved ones. What Gabrielle did not touch on were all the losses I experienced during my journey. I lost my biological father to sepsis, as a matter of fact. His cancer had just come out of remission. I lost my brother to multiple myeloma. And I lost my friend, who was the only person that took me in when my landlord put me out. I lost him to lymphoma that metastasized to his brain. I lost a couple of other friends who prayed and gave me rides to chemo during that time. And my book is dedicated to my brother, my father, and my friend, but also my brother, who's currently in his final days. He had lung cancer that metastasized. So if you're listening, pray for him. So I know that people watch this later, and I'm praying that he'll still be here when you watch. But yeah, so it's hard to be the only living child of my father. So yeah. So pick up God's Got Jokes. It's on Amazon, but also hopefully I'll be able to do some book signings and things like that, where you could pre-order the book and then pick it up at the bookstore, and I'll sign it and write a little note or something, take a picture, and all those things. So thank you for having me.
Of course, of course. And the link will be provided to you if you are watching this on YouTube. The link will be provided in the description. So, Dr. Ponder, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for your story. And I hope that you guys watching go get that book. And I hope that this story has touched a lot of you today. So thank you, Dr. Ponder, for your time.
You're welcome.
And I'm going to paste you backstage. And you guys, it is just you and me now. So we have reached the conclusion of our episode. Thank you so much for joining us today. Wherever you are watching this episode right now, whether that's YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or eventually I'll get to Instagram, wherever you're watching this right now, please check out our social media for more videos and clips. And don't forget to follow us. Follow us, like us, subscribe, whatever the button, press that button. So definitely stay in touch with us. And while you're at it, let us know what you thought about this episode by leaving a comment in the comment section below. And as a reminder, we are A Step Ahead Tutoring Services. Oh, I forgot my banner. Let me just put that up real quick. So yes, we are A Step Ahead Tutoring Services. So if you would like to learn more about our workshops, our services, if you want to learn more about what we have to offer, check us out online at www.astepAheadtutoringservices.com. You can also sign up for our email list and texting list as well. And that information is scrolling below on your screen. and it will also be provided to you in the description if you're watching this on YouTube. All right, I think I have time to play this video, so let me just make sure to get this message in before we close.
Hey there, have you heard of us? We're a small team of tutors here at A Step Ahead Tutoring Services. We believe that education and information should be accessible to everyone, regardless of income, race, or creed. We're dedicated to making this happen, but we need your help. Please consider making a donation to our company. No amount is too small. Your donation will allow us tutors to remain employed, offer free and low-cost services, put on productions like this web series, and reach out to families nationwide. With your help, we can tackle the academic challenges of our students and the emotional, mental, and behavioral changes that result from these challenges. As a bonus, we can improve our communities in the process. Support us today. Note: we're a for-profit company. We're not a charity. Your donation may not be tax deductible. Please consult a tax professional.
Yes. So thank you for joining us for this episode, and I look forward to seeing you at the next episode. Thank you for joining us. Now, signing off.
Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply.